Right, Lauren. So the piece is Secrets, Rejection and Trouble. Can you tell me a little bit about what was different with them in terms of style, first of all, the style of each piece?
Well, Rejection was more of a contemporary lyrical piece.
Great.
And it was like showing more of emotions than Secrets and Trouble.
Yeah.
Whereas in Secrets, we're basically telling secrets to the audience, like what we wouldn't tell anybody else if they were true.
Yeah.
But they're not true, so yeah. And in
What did you use in Secrets other than text, other than vocals?
Dance movements.
Do you know what kind of style that was then? Can you remember?
It's stuck in my head, but I can't get it out.
Physical theatre?
Yeah, physical theatre, that one.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And then Trouble?
Trouble was more of a street dance type of movement with like loads of leg work and shows more confidence.
Good, yeah. So the movement qualities in Trouble were more saying leg work
like
and
dynamic,
yeah.
Like more power to it.
Great. And then what about Rejection? You're saying that's more like emotion stuff, but how do you use the body in that piece more?
You make it more like floaty and more like delicate. So you can like let yourself go to the movements and to the music, so then it's just like you on the stage and no one else is there.
Great. And then what about the movement in Secrets?
It's more mysterious. More like it's more you want to be noticed, but you can't really show yourself off too much because then you're too noticeable.
In terms of the group?
Yeah.
And then what kind of, with the movement in Secrets, it's not really dancey, is it? What kind of movement is it, do you think? Like, is the movement fit with the words, or is it helping tell secrets or anything like that?
Like basically the movement is telling the story that you're trying to put across to the audience, whereas with the word you're saying, there's always an action to come with it.
Good. So what kind of things did you have to do kind of with your facial expression for those three pieces to kind of help give the idea?
With Rejection, it's like you're putting like a dull face on because you're scared, basically, feeling alone and left and all depressed. So you don't really show that much expression with your face apart from dull. Okay.
And what about your body language in that piece? So
it's more like slumped over. It's not like powerful. Like you're not more pulled up on your core, and it's not like more dynamic. It's just like you're letting yourself loose.
Can you remember the technique that we looked at for contemporary dance at all? We looked at a practitioner who used a form of dance. Can you remember what it was?
It's not Anne. I know she did. She was first person to like put contraction and reflex into
Release. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, contract and release. That's great. Yeah, and that's Martha Graham. Yeah.
I've just done a piece on her.
Oh, very good. Should be in the top of your head then. And then Trouble, what kind of expression did you have to get across in the movement in their face?
It's like more attitude. It's like you're putting like all smiles and like all different type of movements with your face. So then it makes you look more confident and more professional and more wild.
Cool, great. So with Secrets, what kind of vocal skills did you have to use to engage the audience? Like maybe what you did for your lines, but also as a group, what the vocal skills did you use?
In some of them we had to project our voices, like Bella's one, I feel sorry for Athea. She had to like shout it out to put it across to the audience. Like she actually feels something, like rejoice with them and stuff. Whereas like Hannah's, she did, I'm Muslim, he's Catholic, but she made it sound like she's heartbroken about it because different cultures and stuff.
And what do you think doing different vocals brought to the piece?
Emotions.
Emotions, yeah.
Mm.
Did it make it more interesting or dynamic or anything, doing that, rather than just saying them all?
It made it like one line would be all happy, so it'll be like more. I'm trying to think of it, but it just won't come up my head. It's in there, but I just can't say it.
Don't worry.
It just makes it like for all of it has got different dynamic ranges,
Mhm.
obviously. Some of the lines are like more powerful than the others, so they're like more sharp at coming out,
Mhm.
and then some of them are more like soft and don't want to come out at all.
What about one of the lines you did?
I did one when people hurt me mentally, I hurt myself physically. I made that come across as delicate and like all alone, like there's no one out there for you to talk to, because there really isn't.
And how did you do that with your voice? What did you do to your voice?
I softened it so then it wouldn't like be noticeable enough. So it was noticeable but not a lot.
Mhm.
So like it was just like something that I want to keep to myself and not one else.
Nice, good. So can you talk about two of the acting pieces you were in? Could be a really big group piece or more of a duet piece or anything, and then that you use different vocal or physical skills in.
I did the secret box,
Mhm.
and I had to like portray myself as a kid.
How did you do that?
Well, I made myself look giddy for when I was running on, and then the first line when I was 9, I was given a box. I made that like so like childish, and then I just snapped out into like an older, more mature person
How did you show that change?
with my voice.
How? What specifically did you do with your voice? You changed like the pitch of it or the speed of it or anything like that?
Yeah, I changed the speed of it because when the first line I did, when I was 9, I was given a box. I had to like portray myself as a kid,
Yeah.
like a 9-year-old. So when you're like 9, you just talk really, really fast, and you're just like immature. And then the next line I did, I just made myself more mature. I made my voice sound much older. I just showed that I was like a different person.
What about physicality in that? Did you change your physicality from showing you were 9 to older? Like your body language or the way you moved?
Oh, yeah, I pulled up on my core for the bit where I was acting older, and whereas I was acting younger, I was like slumped over a bit, and I was like bent and stuff.
What about, did you move around anymore as being younger or?
No, we just basically moved from the centre to the spotlight, and we just like walked about and stopped.
Okay. And do you think you delivered that piece effectively to the audience? Like, do you think
because I don't dare look at the video.
You've got to watch it back so that you can assess how you did. So, from that, from watching the performance back or from memory of the performance, what piece do you think was maybe most effective as an audience member to watch?
I think Yara's one.
Which one?
The Wolf.
The Wolf, yeah? Why do you think The Wolf?
Because she has like passion, and she's got like this crazy emotion towards acting, and she's just like unbelievably talented. She knows that how to put a piece across. She can like change from being like really, really emotional to not giving a care in the world. So like in The Wolf, there were certain bits where she showed that she cared, and then there were certain bits where she was just like, yeah, it's just another part of the story.
Can you explain how she showed that?
There was a bit where she was like, the men took the freakers by the sling of their neck and slung them into the river. And she put so much emphasis and power into her voice when speaking, doing that line, and with the facial expressions and the gestures of her body, it's awful.
Yeah, and what do you think about the staging of that piece, how everybody was set and everything? What did that add to it?
It put like more of a campfire position across, where there was me and my group, like Lauren, Jodie, Becca, Tasha and Tanya in one corner, and then they had Hannah, Yara and Maisie doing all the instruments.
Yeah.
And then we had Owen, Bella, Adam and Tom at the back. They were the four men.
Yeah?
Yeah, the four men. And it just, like, we would move around the stage, my group, and then once we finished, they'll come on and do a bit, and then it'll just change completely until one part we're all on stage together, just like moving about and just portraying the story to the audience, basically.
And that, I suppose, like the slickness of that work as well, didn't it? The way that everybody was.
Yeah, it
worked.
just like moved to the beat of what Angel was playing.
So is there anything performance-wise for you that you think you'd like to improve on or work on? Could be anything in particular from any of the pieces that you think I'd really like to just improve that?
Well, I'm not acting basically. I'm not singing. I'm just not confident with it.
So just more confidence than anything. What do you think you could do to improve that then?
I think if I put facial expressions into it, then that'll give me a bit of like confidence, because then I can put across to the audience that I'm not. But because I can't do that while acting because I'm that nervous, it shows to the audience that I'm actually nervous because I'm always fidgeting and stuff. Things.
But you do actually use facial expression really nicely. But you are one that you do want to watch you, because you really engage with the audience through your face, which is great. And I think that from your dance training as well comes through. But I know what you mean, sometimes when you're acting, you move quite a bit because you are nervous, where sometimes being still is just as important. So that's something to maybe work on and focus on. In terms of staging the whole show, was there any pieces that you were particularly involved in terms of giving ideas or working out where people could go, what they could do?
In the shoot on Trouble.
Yeah, Trouble, yeah.
When Hannah and everyone in our group had to like choreograph like 4 bars of 8, we was all giving like different feedback to Hannah of what movements we could do, and just like helping her choose how to fit this piece into another piece, so it flowed basically with the song.
And what kind of movement were you looking at for that, really?
Foot movements and making it just strong and like dynamic. Basically.
Good. And so you kind of said about the wolf being really good and want to kind of entice the audience. Is there any others that you think the staging of it made it interesting? How people performed made it interesting?
Secrets.
Wow.
And rejection.
Okay. You can talk about either one of those. Which one would you prefer?
Rejection.
Yeah. So what about rejection did you think was interesting?
Where all the chairs were. I need to cough.
It's right, cough, you're fine.
The chairs are set out, so like we'd do different pieces, so there weren't a time where everybody was sat in the chairs, where we weren't just sat around waiting for another part of the dance. We was all moving together. At times it was chaos, but it made it look nicer, because that's what basically getting rejected feels like, chaos. Feels like you don't fit in. So where we was doing all on pieces, it actually fitted really into the dance, because it just showed the meaning of being rejected.
Great. That's it.